with another episode of The Mesurables. Powered by Revolt, shot by CaliiVision.
Cali Scorsese.
So we've upgraded now. Now we have a YouTube page.
Indeed.
Please follow us on YouTube at The Mesurables and also on our Instagram channel, The Mesurables. It's one thing to listen to it, enjoy it, look at the visuals, but you got to follow it.
Yep.
Life is about analytics. Don't listen to Charles Barkley. It's about analytics.
Chuck.
This is edutainment. As my brother
KRS.
KRS once said.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
89.
So my brother,
My guy.
I feel a woo coming on, John. I feel a woo coming on, John.
Ooh.
Woo.
We're here.
I feel a woo coming on, John. All right, man. Well, first off, man, we got to give a shout to the God who passed recently, Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the God.
Yeah, Blue Eyed Soul.
Yeah, bro, the original Blue Eyed Soul.
Indeed.
Okay, so I want to talk about what's going on across the nation in reference to our history and how it's being selectively left out of curriculums.
How about that?
There's a video of this woman in Virginia, and she's speaking to the state legislature about the diabolical nature of what happens when you leave someone's history out selectively.
Wow.
And you pick it up selectively under servitude.
Wow. Yeah.
And how that affects the minds of the people.
Yeah.
How it affects people who are looking to employ you.
Yeah.
How it affects you when you're in school because you're looked at as second class. And it's such an interesting, it's such a diabolical situation. Diabolical is like the pure essence of evil.
Yeah. Wow.
Like,
well said.
Somebody to sit in a room and say, you know what can we do to just diminish these people more than we already have?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, next to the American Indian, the American Negro, bro, we spoke on this at length. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, America isn't unique in this sense, man. I think what is unique is our willingness to acknowledge them, right?
Right.
I think ultimately, historically, we're the only group of people that they don't want to really reference or acknowledge our past. It's frightening, the fact that they want to allow that in schools, and they're trying to pull it out of different schools across the country.
Yeah.
And really adamant about it.
I mean, like the dude in Florida.
Oh, DeSantis?
Come
on, man, really?
Bro, these are through all of these southern states.
Yeah.
And it keep in mind, we're from California.
Yep.
It's not like our curriculum in my high school was like super pro-black. It started with Martin Luther King too.
No, you might just get a page.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was Dr. King, Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Let freedom ring. Right? That was kind of the extent of it.
You weren't learning about Mansa Musa and how we created like the art of being civil.
I didn't even realize, to be really candid, until I got to Grambling and took a course called The History of African Civilization with Dr. Horton, who was a G.
Yeah. Who
really told us to really open our minds and dig deep into our history. Where I really started to learn about
us.
A game changer.
Yeah.
So you're not even going to get a deep level of history in middle school or high school to begin with.
But what I'm saying is these are states that we live in.
Right.
Right?
Right.
When you have a state that is purposefully taking the little that is already there the little that's already there.
The nuggets of game, of information. That's what's frightening. But it's other folks not wanting to acknowledge their part in the history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like, as you get older, you don't want to talk about stuff that happened before. And I've been guilty of that. Like, don't bring that up.
Yeah.
Because it might bring up some bad memories.
Yeah.
Right? It's like hearing a song that kind of takes you back to a time that wasn't the best for you.
Right.
And even though it's a jam, like, turn that shit off.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the jam, like, not for me.
Right.
White folks don't want to acknowledge their part in the brutality that took place with black folks. Right?
Absolutely.
They just want to say, no, it's okay. You guys move on. You guys are okay now. Like, not really. Okay, that stuff is genetic. It's psychological, and it continues over generations. It's almost like you've passed on these traits from generation to generation.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why we beat our kids so hard, because we were kind of used to it.
Right.
Okay, doesn't make it good parenting.
It doesn't. But the other thing that's interesting about it too is that when you have this situation of like selective thought as it comes. Like, I just want people to do research on inventors.
Sure.
Like a lot of things, whether it's your ironing board, whether it's your signal.
Yeah.
Do research on McCoy.
Yeah.
The term real McCoy is after somebody who's African American.
Sure.
And the thing is, a lot of people may not understand it, but the first person to die for this union, Crispus Attucks, was African.
You know what's funny?
American.
I stayed in college. I stayed in Attucks Hall, which was named after Crispus Attucks.
Yes.
That was my dorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, Benjamin Banneker, okay?
Yeah.
The architect of Washington, D.C. We kind of did it all, bro.
But the thing is, though, you don't even have to bring it to America.
Mm-mm.
You can think of Hannibal and not Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
and see,
exactly, and Hannibal Lecter.
But the thing is, that's the interesting thing, too.
Yeah.
The co-opting of the names.
Yeah.
Because if I could take Hannibal, who was all about his folks and all about marching along,
Sure,
and just really defeating Europeans,
yeah,
and put it on this dude who is a
serial killer,
yeah, with all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
Let me co-opt your history.
That's how it is, man. That's
Okay.
how it is.
So, that being said, let's go down to Memphis, my brother.
Ooh.
So there was a brother in Memphis who was unfortunately handled by a gang.
Sure.
The police.
The gang in blue. Yeah.
And it's like, we have said on this program that Ice Cube is a national treasure.
Damn right he is.
He's there should be statues erected
Yeah, that's my dude.
for America's Most Wanted. So many albums, right?
Death certificate? Come on.
But there's a lyric he says, black police showing out for the white cop. You'd rather see me in a Benz. No, you'd rather see me in the Pens than me and Lorenzo rolling in a Benzo.
That's right.
All of these brothers, for the most part, were African American who were treacherously whooping on this young man.
It was wild, and it happened right after we had our last conversation. Like, it might have happened a couple days later. We're mad about it. We didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
It was really awful. It was really awful. And I'm not listen, this isn't, we're going to beat up on our boys in blue.
Come on, man.
There's some good cops out there. We get it.
There are, so that being said,
Yeah.
there are good and bad of everything.
Everything.
But we're not talking about the good right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about something that's so blatant and crazy as what we all as the world witnessed.
Well, when I saw that, and you and I had this conversation off camera, it seemed real personal.
Extremely personal.
Seemed real personal.
Yes.
Because typically, when it comes to our people, it's just always personal.
Right.
Very rarely is it random.
Right.
In all our forms of crime, there's a personal component in there somewhere.
Right.
Typically.
Right.
Whether it's a drive-by in the hood, a robbery, or something else. You messing with my lady, you owe me some bread. Something personal is attached to that. I'm not going to go in the weeds. I don't know how it all unfolded.
Correct. But
it seemed to me that was beating that man up like something happened.
Like something happened.
Yeah. Doesn't condone it at all. You know what I mean? We don't condone that kind of behavior.
Right.
Murder's murder. And
yeah.
He seemed like a good young cat. But we tend to do a little bit too much, And we're gonna stay in Memphis and talk about Ja shortly.
Yes.
Bill Street, Ja.
Yes.
But yeah, man, that was awful what happened. We're tired of seeing that happen to our folks out there.
Mm-hmm.
We already have to worry about what's going on. The other cat doesn't look like us to beat us in these situations. But now when your own take you down, and it's wild.
What?
It was swift justice on them cops, wasn't it?
Oh, bruh.
Swift justice.
You talk about you talk about a case study in swiftness.
Swiftness.
There was a woman and
Taylor Swiftness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Nigga.
There was this woman who was talking about there will be no Blue Lives Matter for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's not gonna be no GoFundMe set up for y'all.
No.
Y'all about to feel every single bit of this.
Yeah.
Every single bit. Because it was that. I mean, keep in mind.
Indeed.
My sister was married to a police officer.
Okay.
Thomas Delgado.
Sure.
One of the finest brothers I know. I have nothing but respect for law enforcement,
Yeah.
my father, ex-military. So
mine
like,
too.
so bro, whenever I see cops, whenever I see military, I thank them for their service.
Sure.
Make sure you run that part too.
Yeah.
I show respect for the badge.
Yeah, I got swooped on the other day about one time in the hood. I did a little California roll in Lamert. And it's funny, I saw him and I couldn't stop.
You couldn't stop.
I couldn't even stop.
You couldn't press the brake.
And this cat was whoop, whoop. He swooped on me quick like my guy. Didn't you see me? I was like, I did, but I couldn't stop, bro.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop. He laughed about it because he could tell I was just hesitating. What else I could do? But that being said, man, he was cool to me. I thanked us for his service, for his time.
Yeah.
It was all love, and that's what it was, man. That's what it was.
Yeah, Jeezy has a song called "Don't Get Caught."
Yeah.
And one of the songs, I mean, like the lyric that touched me the most is, he was clearly in the wrong. He said,
Yeah.
but he said, Jeezy said, but I talked to him the right way.
Yeah. There it
He
is.
said, slow it down and have a nice day. I mean, that's how I'm approaching whenever I am, whenever I have interactions with the boys in blue. It's always, yes, sir. Yes, officer.
Yeah, man.
I'm not out here being like, super aggressive. No, I'm cool.
Should I be trying to make them laugh? Like, keep it light.
Right. Yeah. Keep it
it's
super light.
Listen, it's a hell of a job.
Yes, it is. You've seen the worst of the worst every
the worst of
day.
the worst, and every day might be your last. You encounter some cats that aren't really happy to see you in the streets. So I don't feel sorry for the cats. You sign up for the shit.
Right.
But I'm also, conscious of if they come across me, they're going to run across a cat that's jovial.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the wisdom, though. That's why we got these grades.
But that cat was cool as a fan. He was like, man, you got to slow it down. He's like, I know you saw me. He was like, hey, man, I tried.
Yeah.
And it was just like slow motion, like, there. And then my black ass started making a quick cut. It was like he wasn't going to swoop on me. Caught me in the alley like, my God. Come on, man.
Come on, bro. I mean, come on, man.
I was like,
you got to observe these laws, man.
Hey, man.
Observe these. So we said that we were going to talk on our dear brother, Ja Morant.
Hey.
As a PSA to America, African Americans aren't watching what's unfolding saying, yeah, do that.
Right.
We want to uplift our brother.
Sure.
And Michael Wilbon, Stephen A., Jalen Rose, they had a like a tribunal.
Yeah.
There were other people on that. They were all sitting collectively having a conversation.
Sure.
But the three of them, like what Stephen A. said, he said, all respect to Ja Morant, his family,
of course,
his teammates.
Yeah.
Like the way he framed it with respect. And then he got to the nuts and bolts. Michael Wilbon just went in. He was like, bro, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, he's old school from Chicago.
I mean, like he was really unacceptable. But the thing is, I want to throw an alley-oop to Adam Silver.
Yeah.
There's something called the Rookie Transition Program. You ever heard of that?
Of course.
Spoke at it several times. Where they talk about all different types of things you're going to encounter.
Yeah.
I think that there should be a tribunal of ex-NBA players to really warn these young brothers on the effects of over-thugging.
He said over-thugging.
You know who should lead that charge?
Tell me.
Gary Payton.
Oakland's finest.
Gary Payton should be the guy who is the czar to talk to these young brothers. Because you got to think, a guy like Ja Morant may not listen to a Tim Cook.
No.
He's not going to listen to a Reginald Lewis who bought Beatrice. He's going to look at him like, man, you corny, get out of here.
Yeah.
But he's going to listen to Gary Payton.
Yeah.
He's going to listen to Gary Payton.
Yeah.
He's going to listen to Allen Iverson.
AI was the original Ja.
But let me finish. He's going to listen to Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, of course. Wow, of course.
He's going to listen to these guys because these guys were where he was or where he is right now. But then you need to have guys also like a Jamal Mashburn who's made a ton of bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Shaq, ton of bread.
Then you can have somebody maybe from the city where you are to come in who's reformed and just give you some game. Because, again, this whole platform is for uplifting you. Because the interview I saw yesterday was hollow.
Yeah, he's not going to give you too much. And I will say this, man. I think these kids, it's a lot tougher to grow up now than it was for us. It just is, man.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the same level of
scrutiny,
social scrutiny.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we love social media because it's a blessing on some levels for your brand and individually you can shine, highlight.
Yeah.
But there's a curse to it too. And if you're famous with it, the kind of, like you said, the kind of scrutiny that comes with it, every move you make is about that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the day, said Michael Jordan's favorite singer was like Anita Baker. He's playing Anita Baker before the game.
Oh, absolutely.
This
Pulling
is
up,
MJ,
bro,
playing
pulling
R&B.
up in a Jimmy,
Playing R&B.
a GMC. That's what he
Right.
wasn't pulling up in the Rover yet.
Ja's not playing that.
Nah.
So his mindset isn't really sweet love.
Right.
He's not giving you that. He's giving you something altogether different.
Right.
And I'm sure his crew, our cats from Memphis or who grew up in South Carolina, they'll give you a different kind of energy too.
Right. But God bless them all though. Because they
Not
all
mad at
need
him.
God's love.
Yeah, and he's still 23.
Yeah.
You know, 23, I wasn't,
Correct.
you know, I was doing all kind of things. That, you know, we got to be conscious of that. And I didn't have that kind of bag.
Yeah.
I had limited luggage. You know what I'm saying? I had a carry-on at best.
Right.
These cats have bags. His money's strong. And he's
Money's
just,
strong.
come on.
Yeah,
You know,
money's strong.
Money's strong right now.
Yeah.
And he's kind of taking care of his whole family. So I understand there's a pressure behind that. However,
Yeah.
comma,
Yeah.
you got to know better.
You got
Because you sign up for this stuff. You got to know better. You got to be smarter about how you move. You know what I mean? Like they're talking about AI. AI was, the thing about AI, it was more about his associates than him individually. AI personally wasn't doing anything. His crew was running amok, right?
But my question to you, is that not just as bad?
Sure.
When your crew's running, because they're not gonna like it's Michael Vick. Michael Vick wasn't back there fighting the dogs. His people was, but it was his house.
Yeah.
So he got in trouble.
He was in there too. He had a couple of dogs in the mix. Come on now.
But the thing is, when the feds raided his house,
yeah.
he wasn't there.
He wasn't there, but clearly he was involved in activity because it's the whole, you know, the Fed's gonna do a paper trail. They're gonna follow you, unlike anything you've seen in your life.
Yeah,
they're gonna have every photo.
For real.
They got cameras. They're gonna see Mike was in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, man.
Sicking his joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to really be careful about that. But
yeah,
you
know what Ja means? Do you know what it
idea.
means? The name Ja means magnetic.
Oh, like Ja Love. Try Ja Love. Without the H,
I mean,
sure.
Magnetic. So whether it's virtue or vice, when your name, like whatever your name is, 9 times out of 10 you take on those characteristics.
Yeah.
So virtue or vice. So the virtue is you can be a multi-millionaire, be the face of the league. If you're gonna come back to the hood with scholarships.
Yeah.
Come back to the hood with industrialists who are gonna take these people up out of the hood. Because you know it's always interesting to me. The people who are in the neighborhood, they don't want to be in the neighborhood.
No, nobody.
Which
really
is
wants
why
to be
they're
there.
with you.
Take me away, Calgon. Take me away.
But the thing is, though, I'm gonna take you with me, but I'm gonna give you some skills, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some skills, and all these people who are in the neighborhood who may have been left behind, I'm gonna come back because I got this bread. Let me link with an industrialist to formulate a plan for us. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to put together a plan so we can empower ourselves versus just like taking the bullshit from the jungle to Mulholland.
It's a selection process. As LeBron chose wisely.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there were cats he kicked with in Akron that probably weren't as sharp as Maverick.
Yeah.
Right? But he knew, he identified the guys that he realized he could probably grow with and build with. He made some great calls. Maverick's sharp. Rich Paul sharp. Randy's the other guy.
Randy
sharp.
Mims, yeah.
You know, LeBron selected his crew like he selects his teammates. Like how to pass and delegate in a way that's what's made him so great. He gets it.
Yeah.
His vision, court and off court, has been masterful. Right.
Yeah.
Clearly, Ja didn't make the right call. Like you got to make sure not everybody in the hood is cool to roll with, man. Not everybody can sit in the front row. You can sit up in the stands, up in the bleachers.
Yeah.
But courtside, these seats cost a little bit more money.
Well, you know, America loves to come back. And I more than anybody want to see him back doing what he does
He'll be
best.
fine. He'll be all right.
I want to see. But what are your thoughts on that on that tribunal of Gary Payton leading the charge on? Let me just. The thing is, and the thing is, I'm not talking at you. I'm just going to share some game with you.
Let me tell you something, man.
What are your thoughts on that?
Real quickly, sidebar. Back in '96, I was writing for Rap Sheet. They sent me up to do an article on Richie Rich, a rapper from the Bay. Went to Lake Berryessa. Myself, Jay Kidd.
Wait. Hold on, wait. Say one more time who you went up there. What was the rapper's name?
Richie Rich.
For all of you all who don't know who Richie Rich is, Do your research. Also, there's a song called The Sideshow.
Man.
Whew. They should also check out RBL Posse, too. You're jumping way ahead. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I went up to the Bay, did this article on Richie Rich, and he said, let's go up to Lake Barrier. I've never been there. Got on the boat. So myself, G. Payton, Jason Kidd was like a rookie fresh off the Mavericks.
Wow.
We riding Sea-Doos around there on the boat, drinking Heinekens, hitting the Boom Beezy.
Yeah.
Great
Absolutely.
weekend. But GP was cool. But to your point, circling back to, listen, he clearly gets it. You know, he's probably like 50-something now. Got to be.
Yeah.
So you got GP, Gilbert Arenas, because he had that situation with the gun in the locker room.
That's what I'm saying.
The Watch and the Wizards never recovered from that incident.
Never recovered. And he was shooting the leather off of that ball.
Come on, man.
Gave Kobe
60.
fits.
Gave him 60.
Yeah.
On a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Wearing some Dolce & Gabbanas or something like that.
Exactly.
Quietly. He was that guy. 80 was cold.
Yeah.
So but you bring that collection to catch, to your point. I mean, he might not really respect or understand some of the businessmen, but maybe culturally he'll understand the guys that have been in the league. And I'm sure they've talked to him. I don't doubt that a lot of people have reached out to him the last couple of weeks because he seems like a really good kid.
Absolutely.
He seems like a really good kid, man. And
I agree with that.
You know, his pops fired up. His pops raised him well enough to get him to the league, and he's supporting him. He comes from a little nuclear family.
Nuclear family.
He'll be cool. But sometimes them nuclear cats they try hard to live that lifestyle. Ain't really about that life.
That's why I'm saying, because you understand, and we're going to move on past this.
Mm-hmm.
After I just want to make one more point. If it's a program.
Yeah.
If it's a program with people who were actually in your shoes.
Sure.
Gilbert had just signed that contract, max contract, and it had this situation. So if I am young and just really just like trying to figure it out, I'm going to listen to this dude because he was where I am currently.
Yeah. And they know it. It's, again, these cats are dealing with a whole different kind of, like you said, scrutiny. Energy's different. It's a different time. You know, we're kind of old school. Like sometimes I sit back and think like, man.
I'm fine with that though.
I love where I am.
I'm cool with that.
I don't even know if I'd want to be like 21 right now with all the devices.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, had I had this phone back in 1992, come on, man.
Could you imagine? Bro, like, let's think it was The Chronic out. It was Mr. Grimm out. It was Dominant. Bro, like everybody was talking about weed.
Was this song by Akon? Locked up, they won't let me out.
Yeah.
That might be my ass. What's he doing out there? You got to be real careful.
Yeah.
So we always have to, understand and just kind of give these cats a little bit more grace.
Yeah.
Because the technology is really affecting them in the way it didn't for us. And I was telling Gabby this the other night. What's wild is, we grew up in a generation where you had to really communicate in a different kind of way.
Correct.
Even if you were non-confrontational, confrontation was going to find your ass at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it was at home, at school, or the streets.
Yeah.
You couldn't avoid that kind of conversation.
Right.
Now you can hide behind your devices.
Yeah, you can throw a rock and hide your hand.
Yeah, the kids don't even know how to speak really in a way that's like, what are you trying to say though?
Right.
Right. So they're not really willing to even listen to some of the lessons that came from the people before them, which is a whole nother conversation. But in terms of Ja, hell of a player. I don't doubt that he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. We're pulling for you.
We are pulling for you, Playboy. Get it done, man.
But keep in mind, like, we all done prolific, ignorant stuff.
What?
I didn't have a max contract. So the thing is,
you had a Maxima.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, a Nissan.
Right. So the thing is, as I'm sitting here critiquing, like, I'm also understanding too that, bro, like, the level of scrutiny that he's under is probably incredible.
Yeah.
But the thing, I mean, like, the main thing is, bro, we pulling for you. We only want the best for you.
Yeah, man.
And the thing is, you got an opportunity to not only change your life, but the lives of so many people around you.
It's generational
by just doing the right thing.
Yep, generational wealth.
That's
it.
Yeah,
good luck, Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a interview that Carmelo Anthony gave.
Okay.
And he said, when I was younger, like, I had a rowdy crew.
Mm-hmm.
And David Stern pulled him into his office and gave, like, a folder opening, like, laid out, like, these are all your crew members.
Wow.
These are people who you're going to have to start to
disassociate yourself with.
Because you're one of the faces of our league.
Sure.
I'm positive something like that's going on with our brother.
Yeah. They're going. It's a billion-dollar business, multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
Adam Silver is not David Stern. You know, Stern was the operative word because he was tough.
Yeah.
He was tough.
Yeah.
Adam's a lot more player friendly. But
Yeah.
he still got a business to run.
Still got a business to run.
You can't mess up our bottom line, Playboy. Like, you got a lot of game. A lot of cats have come to this league with a lot of talent. Ain't in the league anymore. So yeah, I'm sure they have the FBI breakdown of like, oh, this is little Pookie right here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is your guys. You might not want to hang with him too much.
Yeah.
More.
Or I mean,
he can't come to the arena either.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you do want to hang, bro, let's figure out a way for all of us to be productive.
Sure.
So that being said, brother, there was also something that Chris Brown put up.
Breezy.
Mm-hmm. And he was talking about, man, something happened 17 years ago and people still writing me about this. And he goes down like a rabbit hole. Like he lists Nicolas Cage, he lists Sean Penn and Madonna.
Sure.
Like, bro, he went all the way in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think, well, one, it's not for any of us to cast judgment because none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
Do you think it's about that time for people to just forgive Breezy and let this brother just make these cold R&B jams?
Well, I'd argue that he's been forgiven.
I mean, like, I feel that way, but the thing is, like, I think he was supposed to perform on the Grammys or American Music Awards, and like it was like there was a kibosh put on that. It was him, he was dancing.
Yeah.
Like, it was a dedication to Michael, and I guess I don't know because I don't know the brother, but he wasn't allowed to perform. And I think there's still segments of the population that are still holding him like.
Yeah, and the truth is that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be some folks that look at him with a jaundiced eye. Yeah. But, you know, career-wise, he's had a hell of a run since that stuff happened with Rihanna.
That brother has, bro, his catalog is like Drake's catalog. It's just endless.
He's had hits, you know.
That's putting it mildly. That brother has hits.
He's talented. I can't even discredit his ability. He's dope, you know.
Yeah.
But I think people have said, you know, it's indefensible, an indefensible act.
Very unfortunate.
I will say he was like a teenager, maybe 19 when that happened, which doesn't excuse it
at all.
You know,
at all. Correct.
And I know he's really been contrite. Like I've seen like interviews and documentaries, and him and Rihanna seem like they're in a pretty good space at this point.
Yeah,
you know, kind of put it behind them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, you know, I think everyone has those moments where anything can happen. You know, you get your buttons pushed a bit.
Yeah.
I've never gone down that rabbit hole and never will. But I do know that, you know, if you're contrite and do the best you can to kind of redeem yourself, his career hasn't suffered. He ain't gonna never do the Super Bowl because it's a corporate event. Right. That's probably not gonna go down. But yeah, you know, Breezy's all right. His bread is cool. He's touring. He's selling out arenas.
He's good.
He's good.
So my question to you is, can you separate the artist from the art?
We've had this discussion before.
I know we have. Now we're going to have it on camera.
How about that?
Can you?
I think it might depend on the artist.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you know who can separate artists from art?
Who's that?
Syndication executives.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. No doubt.
Syndication executives know how to separate the artist from the art.
Sure.
Remember Charlie Sheen was talking about how he parties and giving women AIDS? You remember that?
Yeah, 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men still running.
Oh, daily.
The dude Kramer.
Yeah.
On Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Saying niggas should hang from trees.
Michael Richards. Yeah, sure.
Still running.
Getting big checks. Big
now,
residual checks.
Now, what I want people to understand is the point that I'm going to make.
Okay.
Because I can only see the Cosby Show on TV One. And it's very rare because it shows at a very, very particular time.
Like 5 a.m.
Yeah. But the thing is, in no way am I rolling. Like, all those women said they were taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Even if one of them is telling the truth.
That's one too many.
Yep. But the thing is, you have an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Lisa Bonet, Felicia Rashad, who's, beautiful.
Malcolm Jamal.
You can't see that at Naked. bro, it was a time where, like, the Cosby Show was, like, syndicated everywhere.
Yeah.
And you can't see it now. Now, the thing is, it's like Chris Rock has a comedy special called Selective Outrage. And it talks about, R. Kelly and like, you know, Michael Jackson, like, you know, like all of, like, everybody has virtues and vice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just find it so, like, as Charlie Sheen was going through that situation, I still saw 2.5 Men billboards everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
we know what it is, man. You know, it's funny. We always know the answer. It was a black show. Okay. Bill Cosby was black. That doesn't mean. Listen, I don't ride with any of the stuff he was doing because clearly he was doing way too much.
At all, bro.
But I'll say
not condoning that at all.
But as a 51-year-old black guy, that was my favorite show of all time.
It was.
We grew up on that show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the best television that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's sad is, you know, even for, you know, your young boys that are growing up, the young kids to be able to watch a show like that, it's really timeless. But now they don't have access to it.
They don't have access to it,
and that's
bro.
unfortunate. So it is tough to separate both, you know.
But could you separate the artist from the art?
Listen, I'll take some flack by saying I still, you know, check out a couple Cosby episodes every now and again. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Because I can look at him, I could strip away the kind of dude he became, or maybe he always was.
Yeah,
and
always was. Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah,
and just watch the beauty of that ensemble, the cast, the themes.
Yeah,
you know, were always really cool. He introduced us to a world of comedy we hadn't really seen before.
Right.
And you know, coming from a broken home to see a family unit like that. That we could aspire to become as black kids, I think that was really empowering.
Right.
So yeah, it was a hell of a show.
Right. Unfortunate.
But you know, unfortunately, this is how they do us. You know the drill, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, so there. Visually, I feel like we like, and this has to do with everyone. I feel that unknowingly we are all under attack.
Yeah.
There is something that I saw a billboard for a movie called Cocaine Bear.
We got to speak on Cocaine Bear. What is this all about? Is it a horror movie?
But I think it's a comedy, but it's supposed to be inspired by real events. But the thing is this. When you're driving down the street,
right?
Sometimes it may be you in the car. Sometimes it may be you and a child in the car.
Hey, what's that? That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I just want you to know how the conversation goes. Daddy, yeah, what's up, son? What is Cocaine Bear? And I have to explain this to an 11-year-old.
Yeah, because they want to know. They know what a bear is. What's that cane, though?
You talk about being irresponsible.
And it's a hit movie. You know what I mean? It's a hit movie.
Okay.
It's what it is. I saw I didn't see the trailer, but I heard about the film. I'm like, what is this movie? This Cocaine Bear. It's everywhere. It's clearly doing well. But these are conversations you have to have that can be uncomfortable. You know, they can be uncomfortable.
That's
not cool.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So there's so many things I have that we could touch on, but want to know if there are any questions or any topics of interest you want to touch on before I get back to what we talk about.
To your myriad of topics.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. Every time we're up in here, I'm like, damn, I almost look at the clock like we don't have enough time.
Yeah, man.
Because we have these conversations on the phone. We talk for hours like we kids.
Yeah.
You used to look kid, you'd be like, let's wake up in the morning, talk to your lady, like you hear her breathing and shit, like you up all night long, tie up the phone line. Mom, like, what's my phone? That's all you could do. These kids have no idea. They got it so easy.
Right.
They can FaceTime their little freak.
Yes.
But
yes.
But no, man. It's wild because the years flying by. You know, we talked a couple times ago about what we're working on. Not really going too deep into it, but you know, we're always conscious of what's happening around us, and we're always thankful for the blessings we do have. Yeah. You know what I mean? I always tell you, man, this is like one step at a time. Sometimes, patiently impatient is the phrase I tend to use. Yeah. But, man, I'm looking forward to everything that's coming along. But, listen, man, first of all, just so y'all know, the sweatshirt's dripping me right now. It's dripping me. Drip. I've been telling this cat. I've been telling this cat, man, for about 2 years. Like, hey, man, you've done a hell of a job in branding yourself, but not really your name. Yeah, bro. Gab's always like, nigga, so my name is John. Okay, and it's a strong name. It's biblical. Say word. But it ain't really moving no garments. Say word.
Say word.
I know Brother Love put Sean John on there. That's great.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Waraire ain't no other warrior in the country, man, or the world. And Boswell.
I agree.
Come on, man.
I agree.
That's elevated shit right there. So we're excited about the brand taking on new heights.
Yeah.
Which is really, for me, man, if anything comes out of this year, it's seeing the brand ascend and your name really be synonymous with the kind of quality that you've always done. I think that's dope, shoot.
Right.
So I'm just honored to wear it. All the way I did. I'll tell you, as soon as the shoot service is going to let me get that back, though.
So hold on, wait. So hold on. Speaking of Diddy, my brother's in the cream. His vibe is you're very on Diddy right now. Very much take that.
I say it every week. Take that. Appreciate you, Brother Love. Every time, man. We in the Revolt studios feeling real cool.
Absolutely.
Insouciant.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Bro, man, your word selection is incredible. So there's something I want to ask you about.
Yes, sir.
There is a documentary called about Bernie Madoff, Wolf of Wall Street.
I saw that, man. I saw a couple on him, but yeah, I saw that joint. It's cool.
That documentary was absolutely incredible.
Riveting.
Incredible.
That dude was something else, wasn't he?
Hey, man, but the thing is, the fact that he was allowed to mature in his foolishness, he almost ran the Fed.
And,
which is crazy.
What blew my mind was really smart cats willingly giving up their bread.
Bro, willingly.
And he was showing no return. He spun that Ponzi scheme for a few decades. I'm like, no one was ever really seeing their bread back. They're like, Bernie's got us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bernie's got us. I'm like, shit, let somebody slide me a rack. They life saving. They're going to be checking up every day like, I need to see that, though. I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up on you.
Well, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Because there's always deeper meaning.
Clearly.
So there was something after everything hit the fan, right? There was so many people who were upset.
Yeah.
So many people. They had something called the net equity formula.
Oh, yeah.
Net winners, net losers.
Sure.
So if my great-grandfather put down $1,500 and he got his $1,500 out and actually ended up getting $15 million, the way this thing worked is that the family will be responsible for the $15 million less the $1,500.
I saw that.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Now, this is why that's important. I always talk to you about reparations, brother.
It should be a daily topic.
Bro, I always talk to you about reparations.
Right.
And the way they got the money back here is exactly how they should get the money back for us.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
I'm talking about Bowley. I'm talking about Bruce's Beach. And do you know the family that owned Bruce's Beach?
Just want to sell it.
They sold it.
Come on.
They sold it.
Let me tell you something. This is a dirty little secret about us culturally. We always talk about gentrification. Gentrification is like, you know what?
Yes.
Shame on us. Because oftentimes these are homes that we have that our elders leave us and we want to take the money and run. Where are you going to? Corona?
Riverside?
I mean, I ain't mad.
Where are you going?
God bless the Inland Empire.
Of course. Let's Riverside too.
If you got a crib off Angeles Vista, don't shake, homie.
Don't shake.
Don't shake. If you're in West Adams, Jefferson Park, you got a cool historic spot. Where you going, man? You want to take this brand and go to Antelope Valley? Good luck.
Good luck, bro.
Have fun out there. I'm telling you, we do it all the time. So you got Bruce's Beach and Manhattan Beach. You finally, after decades,
you finally get it back. And thing is this: I don't know all the terms of the deal. I want you to earmark your brilliance for 1 second.
Yeah.
But if you sell for 22, you're not getting 22.
No.
But the thing is, you fought so well. One, it should have never been taken away in the first place.
True.
But to click back to the Bernie Madoff and the net winner and net losers.
Yeah.
When you talk about, well, you know what? I wasn't there. That was my great grandfather. That's cool. Because I'm about to tax your ass.
Still got to go in and
get because you are reaping the benefits of it.
That's right.
Speaking of Bruce's Beach, because of what your grandfather did, you own a house right here. So yeah, I'm gonna need that.
I'm gonna need that.
And I'm gonna need that.
If you're gonna sell, at least hold out for a little bit more bread. They sold quick. It's like soon they had the ribbon cutting ceremony, got the beach back. Week later, sold. I'm like, damn. You sold their masters after one album. Like, you guys can't even hold it out a little
You couldn't hold, bro. Did you not?
You gonna got that lack? Come on, man.
All right. So I want to talk to you about something that my father would share with me. He would always say to me, he said, Waraire, I want you to understand that who you see maintaining your city is who actually runs your city.
How about that?
I'd be like, wow, what does that mean? He said, I want you to drive by a construction site in your neighborhood, and I want you to tell me who's out there working. How many of you are out there working?
Oh my God. Well said.
Our Latin brothers and sisters,
Hard.
they out there working.
They're going hard in the
Now,
paint.
that being said, if I'm a GC and I'm giving opportunity to a lot of African Americans, you're showing up high, you're showing up with excuses, you got to go.
You're showing up late.
You got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But what I fail to understand is how we cannot really just, with things in our neighborhood, we
Yeah.
can't seem to get it together.
Yeah.
That's what's, and as a grown man, my father would always say, because like, you know, he and my mother had a very tumultuous relationship. And I would always ask him, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? He would always say, son, I want you to get some life experience.
Mm.
Get some life experience and then come back and talk to me.
Right.
Because pretty much what he was saying was, boy, you ever heard the term wet behind the ears?
I damn near invented it. Sure.
Bro, he would never say that to me. He would just kind of just look at me like,
yeah, you don't even know yet. You have no idea.
yeah, go get some experience and then come back to me.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget him saying that to me, like, look at who's maintaining your city.
Yeah.
Because that's who's running your city.
That's who's running your town. That's interesting. I never thought of it like that, but just so true. If you look around, and you know, we talk about inflation, the economy not being where it's supposed to be, but every block is some construction. This stuff getting built left and right in the Southlands.
Right.
So there's some money here somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. And to your point, we don't see enough cats looking like us on these construction sites, building these buildings. They're not the foremen. They're definitely not the architects.
Nah.
So, you know, it's wild, man. And
so with the popularity that the podcast has been reveling in quite lately,
that's right.
we've added a couple of new things.
Okay.
A couple of new things for you all.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact segment.
Little known fact.
We've done that before.
Yeah.
A little known fact that you would like to share, because I have one I want to share.
Well, you get it started this time.
So there is a drugstore in Brentwood called Long's Drugs.
Ooh. Okay.
Long's.
I remember Longs.
Long's is still there.
Still around. That's right.
So my stepbrother used to work at Long's as a manager.
Yeah.
And when I was young, he was like, bro, you need a job. Come over here and work with us.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to love this story. I guarantee it.
Right.
So I get a job at Long's.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to Long's is a little shopping center. And people who live in Brentwood, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
San Vicente.
Yeah, it's a place called Falcon Head. They used to, it was there before. It's not there anymore. It's Falcon Head. It was a tutoring center. It was a Bank of America, a soup plantation, and a Jamba Juice.
I remember that soup plantation. I go there with my mom.
All right.
That's right.
So in Brentwood, one day, I see Orenthal James Simpson.
The juice.
The Juice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who he's talking to?
Who's that?
One Ronald Goldman.
Wow.
Talking to him.
Wow.
Naturally, I see OJ. I'm like, wow, that's OJ.
Wow.
And he's having a conversation. It's not heated, but it's like matter of fact.
Yeah.
And all I heard was, I just need you to stop driving the car.
Wow.
That's all I heard.
How about that?
All I heard.
Yeah, man.
And that was about it.
Yeah.
And then we all know, because of what happened.
Yeah.
But what was interesting to me, I recall the conversation, and I recall OJ's mannerisms, and also recall Ron's mannerisms. And Ron's mannerisms weren't one of like, what you're saying to me, I'm gonna take heed and I'm gonna stop doing it.
Yeah,
it was kind of just like,
no trepidation. Like, I'm cool.
Like
I might roll it today.
It was crazy, because what ended up happening was just like, wow.
So what you telling me is that wasn't their first encounter?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just interesting, like when you don't have all the pieces of a puzzle and you just see one piece of it and then something happens, it's like, wow. Now, I went to CSUN during this time.
Right.
And Ron's sister, the one who was crying,
Yeah.
naturally, because the brother was taken,
Sure.
she went to CSUN.
Wow. Kim Goldman. That's
And
right.
she would be like, walking around the campus, and like, it was a lot of racial tension during that time. Not that there's not a lot now, but like, like we're a couple of years removed from Rodney King, like all of that.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting as a little well-known fact that like I saw that interaction between the two of them and had no idea what it was. But actually, after what happened, I was like, oh my God.
Well, I knew when it went down, And I'm gonna tell you something. I knew immediately. I was like, oh, he did that.
Yeah, wow.
You know, when you grow up in a certain kind of neighborhood, you see certain kind of cats that commit certain kind of crimes.
Yeah.
The look is universal.
Wow.
The look of guilt is universal.
Wow.
And you can, you know, we can go deep in the weeds about the OJ trial. And if you watch the documentary Made in America, still the best documentary I've ever seen in my damn life.
Yeah, it's a great documentary. Great TV show too.
With the man Cuba played him and all that stuff. Yeah, Netflix, great.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that was a really polarizing time. And to your point, I mean, there's still racial tension in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But in the city of LA, from about 91, from Natasha Harlins getting killed.
Yeah.
Which led to the, you know, indirectly the Korean stuff getting burnt down during the riots.
Yeah.
From 91 to about 96, post OJ verdict, the city was really, really in a difficult place.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling that energy out there. And the truth is, you know, the more I think about OJ, the more kind of disgusted I am with the outcome. Because black folks didn't benefit from that verdict. They're still.
You remember how black people was like cheering?
Like it was like we had been emancipated.
But you know what though? There was a reason why we were cheering. And if you looked at that documentary,
listen,
it framed it perfectly.
It was beautifully framed. I understood the elation. I know white folks weren't happy about it.
Yeah.
But it was just one victory out of many losses, right?
Yeah.
Even though it came in a really gruesome way. But if I look at it, you know, some 28 years later, we didn't benefit. The judicial system still is up against us.
Correct.
Police brutality hasn't really slowed down one bit.
Hasn't subsided at all. Correct.
Financially, we're probably in the worst place we were in 95. So when I look at the OJ verdict, it was a victory for
him,
a rich guy named OJ Simpson, and I was troubled by it.
For him. So that was my little known fact.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one?
I always have little known facts.
Please share.
You know, it's wild, and it's not really a great story, but, you know, a lot of folks don't know. I spent my first almost 5 years on Earth in London. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I was born.
Were you a military brat?
I was. My dad was in the Air Force.
Wow.
So shortly after I was born, we moved to a town called Oxfordshire, which is outside of London, and we spent almost 5 years there.
Wow.
I had a nanny, Mrs. Dance was her name.
You don't have no accent either.
I had one when I came to the States.
You did, eh?
It was pretty strong.
You had an accent, eh?
I did, brother, for sure.
The brother had an accent.
Yeah, I sure did. You know what I'm saying? I got my ass kicked for it, too. Trust and believe.
Got a little ass whooping, too.
Trust and believe.
Yes.
But so when we moved to the States in like 76, whatever year it was, you know, we struggled for a while. You know, I give my mom a lot of credit because, you know, my parents, my mom basically did a Tina Turner. I mean, my dad wasn't putting hands on her, but she was like, I got to get out of here.
She wasn't running across the street.
She ran across the country.
With like no shoes on?
She like packed up my sister and I with like, she had like a rack. And she came to LA because my Aunt Jean was here and my Uncle Mike were here. She's like, I'm just going to California because that's where my sister and brother are.
Wow.
Set up shop. We bounced around, was in the whip for a minute. We were struggling until we finally got an apartment in Inglewood.
Yeah.
But I always tell people my life was like the Fresh Prince in reverse.
Wow.
Okay? Like it started cool and it got real tight, right?
Yeah.
And then we moved to 60 Hood. Everybody knows my story. I grew up off 6th Ave and 60.
Yes.
But, you know, it's interesting when I get into the States, having that accent, being a little black kid with a little soft afro, going to school on Crenshaw and 60th, St. John's Evangelist.
Yeah.
And them kids like really putting a hurting on me for a while.
Because you had the accent and you were perceived as different?
I was perceived as different.
Wow.
You know, it was a really unique time. You know, it wasn't cool back then. Like you have a little British kid now, like, oh, this kid's so cute. Back then it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to be different, to have that accent.
Wow.
And to be going through that struggle storm, like our paper was real low.
Yeah.
So I give mom her credit for holding it down, but that was a really challenging time.
And ended up purchasing a home.
Right there for like 60 grand.
Now, how cold is that?
How about that?
Yeah.
For like 60 grand on Hood and still has that house
paid
for now.
Amen.
But you know, the moral of the story is you never really know. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But I sit back now and think about those times and how challenging it was to have that accent, to have that energy, to come to the city. And LA then, let me tell you something. It's tame in comparison to what it was when we grew up. LA is a different kind of city.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more, even the gangbangers don't go as hard as they used to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really.
And they go hard now, though.
They were professional gangbangers.
Yeah, something called a drive-by.
Cats were banging on breakfast. They were waking up banging.
Yeah.
They walk out the hood banged out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I always tell you about my man.
Wow.
P.D. Wack, Rodney Glaze. Rodney, I think he might be back in jail now. He used to terrorize me. And his daughter ended up being my buyer Millennium, Nita Glaze. Shout out to Nita Glaze. But that one cat, I used to see him all the time like, damn, there's P.D. Wack.
Yeah.
And he used to just sweat me consistently.
Absolutely.
Let me get that watch. Let me get that bike. And it got to the point I said, man, my mom, we're not moving.
Right.
We're not moving.
Hey, man, bro.
I said, we can't go anywhere. I only been there for a couple years.
And I need peace in my neighborhood, bro.
He was like, you got heart. But let me get that $5 though. You see, run that fin though. You know what I'm saying? So you start to realize, and you just kind of adapt to the hood, man. You know?
Oh my God.
But notorious for sure. Indeed.
All right. So the second segment is groups and jams to remember.
Oh man.
Bruh.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh.
Go down. So I went first with the Orenthal James Simpson situation.
Yeah.
Jams to remember. Give me a couple.
I'm gonna split your wig right now because for me, you know, musically I'm a little different.
Okay.
So,
bro, you just told me the story about you being from London.
That's right. So I always have that little new wave-ish kind of vibe in my soul. Although I love my R&B, I love my hip hop, I love my jazz.
Absolutely.
But you know, I'm gonna talk about the Smiths.
The Smiths. Ooh, the Smiths.
The Smiths.
Give it to me.
If you don't know about Morrissey, the lead singer of the Smiths,
wow,
go down and check them cats out in the '80s. They were dope.
Yes, they were.
When I got my whip in my truck, the first song I played was a song called "How Soon Is Now." It's a classic jam.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, that was the first song I played in the car. But the Smiths took me on like a little musical journey that was really, really fly.
Mm-hmm.
The sound, the lyrics, just the energy behind that group was something special, man.
Yeah.
So a lot of albums, but the Smiths are a group I always really felt. That's one. Wow, man. On the R&B side, like this could be a genre thing quietly.
Yeah.
This could be a genre thing.
The thing is, though, there's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
This is your, like, this is you.
On the R&B / electronica / bro, I don't even know how to really classify Incognito. Remember Incognito?
This is why I won't throw my CDs away, right? Because you can't find all of the Incognito CDs that I have.
Man.
They were
still a friend of mine.
Bro.
Those cats, and I got to give my sister her props, Morgan, because she hit me to those guys. Incognito was a cold group.
Yeah, they were.
They were so cold.
They were from London, weren't they?
I believe so. I feel like they probably were.
It was a lot.
It's like Loose Ends.
Or like Soul to Soul.
Or like Soul to Soul.
Bro, it was so many, like.
Great groups from the UK had that UK soul. And that's another thing. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of cats over there that look like us but come with such great sound. But yeah, Incognito loves them to death. What about you?
Ask you a question. Because my wife is an avid lover of music.
Sure.
My assistant, Jasmine, an avid lover of music.
Yeah.
When they play me jams sometimes, I'll be like, I'll just give them the look. And she'll be like, yeah, they're from the UK. Or I'll look over and she'll be like, no, they're white. And what's interesting to me in reference to music is that you have people across the pond who are really fine-tuning. Adele is an example.
Of course.
Sam Smith.
Another
example.
Yeah.
But what they mean to the U.S., how come Jasmine Sullivan doesn't mean that to the UK?
Yeah, it's a great question.
That's one. The second thing is the content of what we talk about. Now, keep in mind, music is like is a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So like there's some times where you want to like, you know, where you may want to listen to something that if your kids were in the car, you're not listening to.
Right.
But I just feel like it's a steady stream of that on the American side.
Yeah.
There's no like real delicate. There's like no Patrice Rushen and Roberta Flack and shit, even Whitney Houston. It's just like it's just all like, this is what I'm doing. And keep in mind, bro, like I am not saying this to like tear our artists down. I'm just wondering, why is it that like I can see that people in another land are taking your music and really doing an incredible job with it while, we getting tatted. And
that's the history of music, though. There's always that. That's been happening since Elvis and way before then. You know what I'm saying? Cultural appropriation. But, I remember Tank said something. I like Tank. Tank is a great
I know
artist.
Exactly what you're about to say.
Like Tank.
Reference to Samson?
Yeah. Like they don't really want to play music about black love on the radio. They want to encourage that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to play that, stay with me stuff. That's too much for us to hear. Imagine driving around. We grew up playing like Anita Baker and Luther
Absolutely.
Vandross.
Yeah.
Like beautiful.
Freddie Jackson.
Beautiful
Soul to
love
Soul.
song.
Yeah.
So we kind of can tap into identify what love was, even though we might not have really at that young age maybe took advantage of it, but we understood, we at least had an idea what love was. And even the films that were on the shows kind of really highlighted what black love seems to be or should be anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What my son, what Henny's listening to, are you kidding me? Like there's nothing romantic about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But there are artists that out there that give you that.
There
like
are
the
some.
Jasmine Sullivan.
There are
but
some.
They don't really get that airtime.
They don't get so
unless they do a remix with Little Whoever.
Little
fill in the blank, Little. I mean, no disrespect to the Littles. It's a lot of them.
But you know what though? There are artists like Duckworth. There are artists like what's the brother? I wish I knew. I forget what his name is, but he performed on the Grammys.
Okay.
Like they're all the and you got Sid from the internet.
Oh yeah. Sid
and
Kid.
I mean like
Yeah,
so the brother who I was just singing, he's part of the internet too.
Oh, you talking about Steve Lacy?
Steve Lacy. So there are artists out there who are giving us that.
Sure.
But they don't get the platform like Sam Smith gets. And I'm like, bro, he's a talented dude, but he's singing R&B, bro. Have you ever witnessed?
Come on.
If you're ever looking at a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you have somebody who's Anglo, and they do something that's specifically characterized with black culture.
Yeah,
the black people in the room are like, yeah. It's like no.
Yeah,
it's like I feel sometimes we are a victim of our own brilliance.
Sure,
because it's like Steve Lacy's incredible.
Yeah, he's dope.
Lacy should be, bro, out of here, and I'm sure he will be, but like he's not getting that same love.
No. The truth is, I mean, historically, white artists who sing, and I think Adele has an incredible voice.
Bro.
Right.
Fantastic talent. But incredible.
But you could go to any Baptist church on a Sunday and find somebody sing like Adele.
Speak that true.
Okay, real talk. There's some woman in the choir that's got an Adele voice, some sister. So that means she don't deserve her flowers, and she's dope. And Rich Paul, my guy, God bless you, brother.
Yeah, she's incredible,
great,
incredible. But like, it would just be dope for Jasmine Sullivan to, just using her as an example.
Those artists for sure.
All right, so, in reference to jams, because we got to run through this because we're almost done.
Yeah,
there is a group. Well, let me give you a little backstory. Like you, initially when I came into this. Into the world, we were very middle class.
Sure.
Pops was hustling.
Yeah.
The hustle dried up.
Yeah.
Went from a house to an apartment.
It happens.
620 North Oakland in Pasadena was where we were.
Okay.
And around the corner from there was Villa Park. And there was a couple of Latin sets. There was a couple of red sets. So to not be in that situation, my mom encouraged us to really, hang with our friends in other places just to get an expanded view.
Right.
So I ended up hanging out with this guy named Elliot Perez, Michael Gonzalez. We all skate. We all skated.
Skaters.
Right? And I remember they used to bump The Cure.
Oh, man.
I remember they used to bump Spandau Ballet.
Oh, yeah. Spandau Ballet, sure.
I mean, in a litany of other groups. This was like when Hammer was popping.
Yeah, like 90, 91.
Yeah, like De La Soul.
Yeah.
88.
Sure.
So I remember those groups and, going to see the U2 movie of the live. They did a live performance and they cut it into a movie. I remember going to see that.
Octoon Baby or some shit like that.
Yeah, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I remember those.
I love you too.
Yeah, those lyrics. But on the black side, there's a brother who really I feel like he's lost in the annals of rap history. His name is Tash. He's part of Alcoholics.
Sure.
A lot of people don't really give him his respect.
Yeah, Tash was cool.
And this is why I say, like, he was somebody to remember, because there was a time when, like, lyricism was, like, everything.
Yeah.
And Tash was one of the very few West Coast artists who really sat at that table with, like, Nas and all of those guys.
Yeah, he had bars.
And he was on De La Soul's Artificial Intelligence. Like, that brother was incredible, bro.
Yeah.
And then you touched on it earlier. There was a woman that I met named Laila Ferguson.
Okay.
And Laila lived in Los Angeles, but she went to Berkeley.
Okay.
And I went up to visit her once, and then I went up there, and it was the Festival by the Lake.
Okay.
People from the Bay know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But I remember hearing about Richie Rich. Of course, we knew about Too Short.
Of course.
But I ended up hearing about this group called RBL Posse.
Oh, RBL Posse.
And they had an album called A Lesson to Be Learned.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. RBL Posse was cool.
Incredible, bro.
Incredible. Yeah.
Bro, incredible.
Yeah.
So on the R&B side, Alexander O'Neal.
Wow.
Okay. So now,
Wow.
so I'm gonna tell you. So there's a Sunday Love. Is that the name of the song?
With,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Saturday. I think
Saturday Love
with a Sherelle.
with Sherelle.
Yeah.
The whole song is a jam.
Yeah, it is.
But the specific part that's really the jam is after they give the roll call of the days.
Oh yeah.
Never
That's
on
right.
Sunday. Monday's too soon. Tuesday, Wednesday just won't do.
Thursday and Friday.
We can begin, but our Saturday love will never end.
Yeah.
But this is the cold part when he says, "Yes, sugar." That's the part.
That was great.
But I like, bro, you talk about doing some of your best dance steps.
Oh my God.
Ain't nothing like dancing to that kind of music, bro, with a cool one.
Man,
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, those were amazing times. Music, every genre was dope growing up, and I'd argue every era says they had the best genre of music. I just feel like ours came together. You know, everything was at its pinnacle.
Yeah.
You know, rock, hip
Rap.
hop, R&B,
Yeah, all of it.
jazz. Like everything was really, you know, new, strong.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
You remember the group Slave?
of course. Yeah.
Watching You.
Oh my God, love that song.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
I listened to ad-libs and instrumentation,
Yeah,
but it was called Watching You.
yeah,
And it was such, like, I have this thing where I call songs that really hit,
Yeah.
I call them the jam.
the jam. Yeah,
The jam, right? All right.
Yeah.
So the jam was popping so much for him, the lead singer in the group.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I'm gonna do a little dance for you." It was jamming that much
Yeah.
for him
That's right.
that he did a dance on his own jam.
Hey, listen, man.
Do you understand how cold that is?
Cass was in the studio feeling a different kind of vibration, man. It's a different kind of vibration back then. Cass was really, instrumentation was great. Everybody, the bands were in, everybody's playing.
Everyone.
Cass was in there sweating,
Yes.
going hard.
With them
sweating.
curls?
Come on, man. Whatever, just to really, come on, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
So that being said,
Yeah.
a message you would give to an entrepreneur before our closing remarks.
You know what? Stay diligent.
Yeah.
Stay diligent. It could, you know, it's easy to get discouraged if things aren't really going according to plan. You know, be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient. And as Nip would say, you know, all money in. You got to take your money. You
Yeah.
start to come across some bread, put it back into the fold and build a long-term plan. Unfortunately, you know, he wasn't able to stay here long enough to really reap all the rewards of his greatness. But
Absolutely.
But his plan was really, really dope. And it's just, and I'd argue that that's what it is. You know, it is a marathon, and it's like, take your time, put your money in,
Yeah.
build a good team of cats around you that you can trust that are going to work as hard as you're going to work, and success is imminent. But you know,
Wow.
just be encouraged, because it's so easy
To not be.
especially when the devices are showing other people bubble up. You're like, damn, what's up with me?
Right.
Just know, your God's got a plan for you too. It just might take a little longer.
You know what's interesting? That was a message to an entrepreneur and closing remarks. That was amazing.
Yeah,
I always think about, there's a guy named Gary Vee,
sure.
and this is my closing remark as well.
Yeah,
So Gary Vee says a lot of stuff about a lot of different things, but he says, you know, I meet with, you know, these rappers, these actors, these athletes that say, you know, I didn't hit and like my life is over, and they're like 25 to like 35.
yeah.
He said, bro, like your life is literally just beginning.
Just starting.
And you know what I think about a lot of times? is Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. We talked about him before. Yeah.
Because Morgan Freeman, he didn't become a gigantic star till he was in his late 40s, early 50s.
Sure.
But he had been acting forever.
Yeah, theater, electric company, all that stuff. Yeah.
So, you know, when I'm thinking about like, you know, a message to an entrepreneur, it's just like things don't happen in your time.
Mm-hmm.
They happen when they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But you also got to remain diligent too. It's kind of like if you just keep on knocking long enough, somebody's going to get up and be like, damn, like what? They're going to open.
Yeah.
It's going to be your turn. But the thing is, the journey, when you're on the journey, you should pick up things. So then when you hear that, because the door never just opens outright, because if you're knocking at the door, naturally you're trying to open the door.
Right.
So the door is locked.
Right.
So once you hear somebody unlocking,
Yeah.
that's your turn to summon all the years of influence,
Yeah.
all the years of things that you've gone through.
Yeah.
So when that door opens, you ready.
Deliver.
You ready to go.
Come with the delivery. That's right.
That will be my message to an entrepreneur, to just stay in the game.
I dig that.
Stay in the game.
Square biz. Yeah.
That being said, this is another episode of The Mesurables, powered by Revolt. You already know who it's shot by, bro. It's shot by CaliiVision. Yo, check this out. Instagram. If you're looking at this, please give my brother that check.
Verify my guy.
Hey, man, that brother be in the DMs like, yo, what's up?
Verify my guy.
Get this brother verified.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's some questionable verifications out there. Get my guy
super questionable.
Questionable.
Super questionable.
Cats ain't making no impact getting the blue check. Get my guy's check.
My brother's out here not only shooting this, but editing this. Get that brother that check.
It's Chubby Checker.
Instagram, give that brother that check.
He gonna get it.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Thank you all very much. We will see you next time. Den of Thinking Men and The Mesurables.
Yes, Lord.
Peace.
One love.
You start the fire.